Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday morning, and this is another episode of the ENS Update Show. Thank you guys for being the early crowd. You guys are my favorite people, right? You guys are my favorite people, the early crowd. Because without you guys, the show can't get started. And then, you have three types of people. You have people that come extremely early, which I appreciate. Then you have people that come mid show, mid event, and then you have the late bloomers that come towards the end. But you got to appreciate all three, right? Because all three are still showing up. But my favorite people are you guys that pull up that pull up a little bit early to the show. So we do the show every Monday through Friday. This is just another day. At this point, this is habit. This is routine. This is a part of my life, right? This is a part of my life. I know at this time frame, unless I'm traveling, I'm on a plane or something, I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this. Now, the interesting thing is every day, what is there to talk about? What is there to do? And it's crazy how every day I wake up, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to speak about in the community to discuss. The biggest thing today being, for me at least, the biggest thing for me being is um, two things. Two things. Number one, I'm going to pin number one to the top. Is I want this to be a community forum, a community discussion. Come on stage, and I want to hear your thoughts. Right? Is from Watcher Guru. Justin Unstoppable Domains has raised $65 million at a $1 billion evaluation. Unstoppable Domain has been evaluated at $1 billion, and that really makes me sit and think, what the heck is the ENS DAO? That if they were to get valuated, what would that valuation be, right? Because in my opinion, we have way more users, way more use case, a lot bigger of a platform. So it makes you wonder, what are we valued at, right? At least 10x, maybe, right? And number two that I want to discuss today is shout out. We bash them when they're down. We bash them when they're down, but we have to give them their credit when they do good. Shout out to OpenSea. They just, I guess they updated their platform to where you're able to search for ENS domains, digits, and things of that nature a lot easier than you were before. I think that is a step in the right direction. That is a step of them noticing that this is the largest community in all of Web3 and have to do things to accommodate for that, or their users are going to just leave their platform and migrate over to other platforms, which I'm pretty sure they noticed, right? So, good morning, y'all. This is going to be a great day. With that being said, I'm going to pass it over to our co-host, Master, and we'll go from there.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just pinned one of my recent published Twitter, and it was actually an interview between myself and the DeFi.app, a couple of weeks ago. It was long ago, but they published it today, and I think their community have a lot of fans because they're posting on YouTube, and there are a lot of fans following them on their channel. So their host Michael asked a lot of questions about DNS, and I think he just shared a lot of questions, which is very insightful. Because he keeps asking why this has value with a hash association. Beside associating to addresses to cryptocurrencies, it can also be a DWeb content. So he keep asking, what is DWeb content? What is IPFS? If we want to migrate that, what is the additional value? And a lot of whys, and we call that soul torture questions. But eventually he found something. Wow, this is something interesting. So if you are interested in the conversation, you can go ahead and click the link and get a listen when you have time. It will clarify something. But I don't, from my perspective, I don't see ENS as purely, speculation, because there's so much value behind it, and we are not there yet. For it's at tulips price at a super purple. We are far away from there. So look at the OpenSea ranking for all these NFT projects. ENS is something. The all-time history transaction ranking, ENS right now is still ranking at 38 or 39. It's still nothing within the whole NFT community. But remember, right now we have 500,000 of the participating addresses. Which else NFT project has something like that? And the users base, the user scale, the size of the community is huge, which means the potential is huge. We cannot only evaluate with the transaction, the volume. I don't think that is the only thing, but utility is the real deal. So we have a lot of anchor points that we can measure the value of it. For example, how many people using it, how many people on Twitter is proudly putting a Twitter handle of .eth, and how many people is putting a DWeb associated to it, and how many projects they are setting are owning their own ENS domains prepared to do something special. How many subdomains already registered right now, even without a name wrapper, under the very boring same account association, but it's still there. So we can use these data as a comparison before and after. And what if after the name wrapper go live? What if after afterwards? I heard there are some projects that can make ENS for loaning, which means if you want to own an ENS, you can not only buy it, but also it can be an option if the seller willing to put it on a contract. You can buy the ownership for 5 years, so that it should not never be returned, be reversed within 5 years. You have a guaranteed 5 years for using this name and put subdomains onto it, something like that. This is all very interesting, and this is all can be set up easily by simple some of the codings, which is great. In the decentralized world, it's just a different world comparing to the daily boring world we are working on. We are working 5 times 8, and we are going to the bureaus and getting our paperwork, and we are getting our paychecks. But the things are just very special when we go to the Web3 world, and everything is just different. So yeah, I mean, stay tuned. I believe there will also be a lot of new projects, aiming and is aiming to ENS because they want to get famous. And what they are going to do is, they get very close to the famous project so that people can know their projects because of these well-known, yet well-known ENS project. From my perspective, so yeah, I mean, let's. It's end of July yet, so I mean, the soonest can be end of August, maybe when Name Rapper goes live, and let's just witness that together to see how many people, how many subdomains will be created by leveraging that contract, to put the ownership away from the root domain, and he can just easily transfer or sell or buy subdomains onto it, just like people does with decentralized names. Just stay tuned. I believe, yeah, the potential will be huge, huge, huge. And the most beneficial names are the premium names, premium words from my point of view. But yeah, the overall target is something like one and another event, or some of the new idea, or the new projects, or the new contract is going to, the only thing they are going to do is just make ENS more famous, and ultimately we are just will be as known as .com someday. From us, I mean, Kev mentioned a lot of times that ENS is our goal is not .com, because we are totally different. I totally agree with that. But the fact is that our population, the people knows ENS is still very limited. It only have 500K addresses, which is great yet, but we still have some mountain to climb. But .com is kind of the middle way of the mountains that maybe we will meet, but surely we will surpass it for maybe over 90% of the opportunities. The rest 10% is something like the black swarm, right? When if Ethereum is killed, if blockchain is proved useless, which I don't think either is likely to happen. So yeah, I think see if there's any huge risks or major risk, we need to get concerned on this. Just want to make sure we don't be a pure speculator. We want to build something on it. We need to know what our name means to us, so that we keep sharing, and I share to you guys share to your friends, and they share to the others. That's how it works. That's how the snowball rolls. And yeah, I hope we won't regret participating each days, or each time of the ENS space. That appreciate to Kev, just keep hosting this for us. Really, yeah, happy to talk to you guys, and I wish you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Master. And I just want to give Master your flowers as well, brother. You have been right here with us since day one, dropping alpha, sharing your perspective, sharing your thoughts. So, guys, Net Master's been here every single day, right? And for him, for us, it's morning time. For him, it's evening time. So, shout out to you, Master. You've been just as consistent as a lot of us, brother. And we learn a lot from you, right? You are a crowd favorite in this thing. So thank you, brother. We'll go ahead and pass it over to NFT Verse. The stage is yours, man.
Hey, GM, everybody. Can everybody hear me good? Just want to get that sound
Yes,
check
sir.
real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
Perfectly. All right, perfect. Yeah, so good morning, everybody. Good morning to the community. Good morning to the host, 5159. Appreciate you as always. I'll say it every single time that I get on this space and have the opportunity to speak is thank you for being consistent. Thank you for hosting one of the best morning shows or ENS shows, ENS spaces all over Twitter. Where you get the best education to me, the best perspectives, the open forum, and you're able to really collaborate and find people you can collaborate with in this space. If you tend to just kind of tap in, you'll find many resources. Master, I want to thank you also. Um, Thank you for just being out there and being an advocate, right? For doing those interviews. Those interviews we may look at it in this community as something that, of course, we love to see those things happening. But as this space grows, those interviews will be searched by millions of people. They'll be looking for content. They'll be looking for more information to understand what is this ENS thing? What's going on? How do I get involved? How do I get my identity? How do I build? So, think about it 2 years from now, where those particular interviews that may not be so popular right now will tend to get millions of views, millions of watches. So I look forward to that, Master. Thank you for doing that. And everybody in the community, at some point in time, you never know when you might be called upon to do an interview for this entire family. So just be ready. Always be ready, because as we continue to learn more and educate ourselves, you will be looked at as one of those people who would be considered an expert in this field. So you may get called upon to do these types of interviews. So you always got to stay ready. Master, we appreciate you. Gary, thanks for tapping in. Bashara, I see Bashara 0095, Dr. Boob 3402. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to the panel that showed up this morning. We love to see this type of engagement. Kev, just to touch on real quick, hump day. I did send you a camel. I sent you a taco yesterday. Sent you just a quick post of a camel because it is hump day. And I just want people to just kind of take this. I'll leave you guys with this really quick. We are all a family, right? When you think about it. And just kind of try to think a little bit deeper when I talk about family. Usually, when you're in a family, everybody holds the same last name, right? Usually in a family, you have the same last name. That's what connects you, right? In this ENS community, we all have the suffix of .eth. We are all connected. We are all one family. So keep that in mind as you interact with your family, as you're building with your family, and understand that you're connected um, so close that you may not even know it sometimes. And sometimes you got to zoom out. You zoom out, right? Sometimes you got to zoom out and see it for what it really and understand the true connection that we have so early on in this space. I yield my time. 5159. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Um, before I know you have to go real quick. Not financial advice, but what is your evaluation for the ENS DAO compared to what Unstoppable Domains was just evaluated at?
Um, I think I think honestly, and I know we're recorded, but
Not financial advice.
yeah, not financial advice. I think it's 20 times that. And I'm just being honest, because when you make the comparisons, you do the numbers. We know that there was some numbers, by them raising 65 million, and then they come to a 1 billion valuation. We know that they were putting crunching numbers in order to get to that valuation. But when you can kind of just look at the statistics from ENS and the activity, the continuous activity, consistent activity of that, and with the community of 400, almost 500,000. Think about it. I mean, in reality, it's 20 times. It's going to be 20 times whatever their valuation is, and whatever it continues to grow to, will 20 times that every single time in the ENS community.
Love it. Thank you, man. Before we go over to Dr. Boob, I want to say what's up to Gary. Gary, good morning, man. How you doing?
Hey everybody, doing very good. Yeah. Oh man, I almost feel bad for Unstoppable. I just like when I see 1 billion is trending in Twitter, and there's so many things that are like trending from 1 billion. It's like $1 billion from gun manufacturers. It's $1 billion lotto we got coming up. It's like so all their news being drowned out by that. But yeah, for them to have have that valuation. Keep in mind that valuation comes from VCs that are, purchasing equity, and they're purchasing enough equity at enough money that it's giving the company an overall valuation of $1 billion. Yeah, I don't want to get into like all the psychology of how that goes, but just to compare and contrast, ENS has no VC investors, and so I don't know if you would value us as $0, but it's ultimately about the usage of the product. What sort of kills me about the whole Unstoppable thing is that every time I see numbers for Unstoppable, they have this 2 million, like what do we have, like over 1 million ENS names or something, like probably like almost 1.5 million, and they say they have 2 million, but most of those ENS names are gated behind a website, and so you can't really prove that data on chain, which is like kind of funny from a Web3 mentality. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, I guess if someone wanted to really think about the value of the DAO, you could say, okay, how much money is in the ENS DAO treasury? How much money do we make, every day? What are the projections of that revenue? And then, you could just like, I don't know. You can't even put a number on it. It's kind of like, I mean, you can, but it's kind of like asking how much is email worth, and someone can Google that. It'd be I know that's already done, but email is probably worth like trillions of dollars, right? Of like market economic activity. And then to think what is, I don't want to like rehash of like how awesome ENS names is, but really what I do want to talk about, as a primary focus is that if there's ever a major attack on ENS with governance decisions, instead of going to our VCs and asking our VCs, hey, what should we do? For better or for worse, emphasis on the better and emphasis on the worse. All someone needs to do is purchase a majority ENS tokens, not be, a complete troll, but like, if you have votes, you have votes. And having these votes, having these ENS tokens for the DAO, the way our DAO is set up, for better or for worse, it's not just for these major attacks, it's also for everyday occurrences. And right now we have an everyday occurrence. Right now, the DAO is, people are back from vacation, people are doing a lot of good work. There's, real people, effort going in. And the DAO, in accordance with the ENS DAO constitution, they're giving out money. And so right now they're having multiple rounds of grants coming out. Seems like they might be monthly right now. And right now we have one. I got a bunch of tweets pinned to the top. But if you go check out the tweets, it's like, please vote. We got these ENS small grants. The only way to vote is if you hold some ENS tokens. You can have, your own tokens. You can have ENS in multiple wallets. And if you don't want to pay attention to every day stuff, you can delegate your ENS tokens to people. I have about 14,000 ENS tokens delegated to me, and I'm going to use those ENS tokens to vote, or the delegation of those tokens to vote. So I'm keeping a close eye on the situation. I'm somewhere in the middle. So of like how many votes I have, I'm probably like top 40 ENS delegate, and so I don't have a lot of power, but I have enough power, to and sort of where we are. And so I'm going to be waiting, like my game theory, I'm going to be waiting until the end, and I want to kind of see who's in position, like 6 and 5 and 4, like 7, 6, 5 and 4, and if I have the ability to push anybody up, then game theory wise, that's going to be a better use of my votes, because these votes really matter, right? And there are like 39 people or so that have more votes than me, and if people all come together, right? If there's 1 million of us that all come together, we all have one vote, then we can apply 1 million votes somewhere. But it's just me. I just have 14,000, and just me at 14,000, I'm up against people that have 100,000 votes. But again, if I can get 60,000 people behind me, 100,000 people behind me, and we all have one vote, then we could really make our voices heard. And the situation with like math and decision making is like the average person, like the average singular person might not have the best idea about what to do, because they're like the average person. So they're either going to have a really, really good idea or a really, really bad idea. But it's really funny. There's like this math and this research done that says if we all vote, and if it's an honest vote, it's like guessing the how many marbles. If we average all of our guesses, how many marbles are in the jar, we will be able to nail exactly how many marbles in that jar. And so we can take these votes and we can apply these votes. In a thread, you can see like who the leaderboard is. This underscores why having ENS token is important. Our man here leading this room every single day, work day, is our man Kev here, 5159, and he's got a proposal out there. So I definitely recommend that you check that out, and if you feel inclined to vote toward that. But it's a big deal, right? Because this could very easily be ignored. But if you're in this room, if you want to participate, if you're actually serious, if you want your ENS names to be worth something, then you need to do the work. You got to give the energy. You got to support the people who are building. You got to encourage them to be building. It's like the people that show up to the kids' game are just as important as the coaches and the kids themselves, right? It's because you need that energy, you need that encouragement, you need that love. And so I'm just imploring to all of you to look into this and to use this as an opportunity to be part of the community in a deeper and more meaningful way, which might help increase the value of the whole ecosystem at the same time.
Very, very well said, Gary. Yeah, I think it's important. I think we all have different skills, backgrounds, knowledge. Everyone here could do something to help contribute to the growth of what we're trying to build here, right? I always say, don't point fingers, right? Don't wait on me to pump your bags or for me to talk about your project or Gary or whatever it is. You got to start pointing thumbs. And when I mean by pointing thumbs, start looking at yourself and say, what can I do to help contribute? What can I do to help the growth of what we're building? And that starts with maybe just simply doing a simple vote, a simple retweet, a simple like, telling a friend, telling a family member about it. So it starts with you. Nobody else is going to do the work for you. And that's probably why, not probably, that's why I started these spaces, right? Because it's why not? Anyway, we'll keep it moving right along. We'll go over to my friend, Dr. Boob, and then we'll go over to Bashar right after. Dr. Boob, the stage is yours, bro.
Thank you, man. Only to say something about ENS updates, to be honest. The top sales in the last 24 hours. This is scaring me for the short-term people. Not me, I'm long-term here. Yeah, because 2 square, 1 square.eth, 16eth, noob 1337. 1337 is a gamer code for lead. Only shit buys. This is for ENS. Can I get the stage 2 minutes for family topic?
Go ahead, bro.
Thank you. My definition for a family only here, I can only speak for a family in Germany. I dislike my uncle at Christmas. I dislike one of my grandmothers because she was not at my marriage, yeah. But for me personally in Germany, there's a line to dislike, to ignore, to block someone. Maybe you can talk shit private to another person, because I do it sometimes too. We all do it. But thank you for all these things who already mentioned in a little bit of way. To start fighting against each other, to start destroying others' work, to put money in destroying others' work. This is over the line. And I only want to tell you one short story, and I'm over in 2 minutes like all the others. I'm only wasting your time right now because of this story. I was together with Tom in the school, and I was 14, 15. And 1 or 2 times I was making a joke too about Tom, yeah? But I was getting to a friend to Tom, but I'm sorry, it was a little bit too late. Because there was the one day Tom was talking in school like he will go back at home playing World of Warcraft like every day 20 hours. This time Tom wasn't going to this computer. This time Tom was going to the train station, and it was his last day. So in a special hardcore way, I was a decentralized murder, because I was doing a joke too about Tom one time in my life. So I will only shout out for my turn in here, and I have a lot of other things to do. We are not only profile pictures here. Yeah, we are not only fucking ENS domains here. We are people and humans behind these pictures. And we are not all strong like Dr. Boob or Kev or Gary. Some people in here are not that strong. Some people are here because they have not the chance in real life to get connected to other people. And this is really hurting me. My private messages are hurting me. And my personal situation is hurting me too, for my people around me. They only want to say, we are all here because we have the same religion and the same fucking passion, because we have not the right people in our real life around us who have the same passion like we all in here. And of course we are discussing, of course we have another opinion. Sorry for my language barriers. I'm not native English. I try my best every second to give you the right words. I only want to have that everyone is thinking about this thing. I don't want to have any penny in here when somebody is crying at home, okay? And we all have to think we are here for the long term, for the rest of our life. This is not the shirt fucking torn because Ethereum is right about now 1,300, 1,400. It doesn't matter for me. This is our revolution we are talking about. This is a decentralization. And I only want to have that some people, maybe only one in here, is thinking about what I was talking in these last 2 minutes. And I'm sorry when I was wasting this ENS lovely update space in here, because this is really super smart, super alpha. But please, there's a line every time with money, with smartness, with everything, because for me personally, you can think I'm clowning, only 10 seconds. I'm clowning or I'm serious. For me personally, every time the family is bigger than me, and at the end of the day, every human in here is bigger than every fucking dollar in my scheiß fucking life. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Boob. I think that was powerful. I think that was important. And just to piggyback off before I go to Bashar is, yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think sometimes we get lost in this bubble. We get lost in this bubble, and everything is just moving so fast, right? Everything's, especially in Web3, things are freaking moving in light years here. So thank you for resetting the room and kind of bringing us back to perspective. Hey, we're still human. We still have feelings. A lot of us are here to connect, make friends, grow. And the outcome of that is going to be making some ETH in the long run. So thank you, Dr. Boob. That was very powerful, brother. We'll move on right over to Bashar. The stage is yours, man.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Well, Kev, Master, everybody, Gary. You guys I just want. Well, thank you all. Thank you for hosting this again and again and every single day the past 3 months. Kev, shout out to you and Master, NFT verse. I wanted to. This morning I woke up. I'm like, I had probably 4 or 5 DMs, exactly the same topic. They're asking me about the fees, as if I control the fees by any means. But they were asking my opinion about ENS fees, if they're gonna hold for the next year. They wanted to accumulate some actual money in real life, and 12 months or whatever, 10 months and 12 months from now, they want to register some new domains. They want to renew their domains, the domains that they have. I wanted to encourage everybody, no, just remind everybody that the fees are not in control in anybody's hands. It's in the DAO right now, okay? In the DAO's hands, meaning it's in the people's hand, in our hands, the people who vote. Okay, so I encourage everybody to vote, and that's what I liked it because Gary was sharing this morning. Right after I I did it, there was a tweet from Gary about the ENS small grants that we had, and I definitely encourage everybody to vote. But definitely, people, like, I really encourage you to, if you have some tokens and whatnot, either you delegate them and choose a delegator, or you go vote for yourself if you can. This is why ENS is superior to any other VC-backed domain system, in my opinion. Other than every beautiful feature that it has, it's in the people's hands, and it's a public good. Remember that it's a public good. We don't come here to just make money. We don't come here to just making money is cool. I know 80% of you, I don't want to assume, but I know a lot of you who are here for the money, but it's a beautiful thing. The whole protocol is a very beautiful open source protocol. Let's keep it this way by participating. Let's keep being active on the voting from our side. This is very, very important to the ecosystem. And thank you again.
Thank you for the alpha, Bashara. Bashar was one of the guys who was here in the beginning as well, who helped see the movement, helped see the vision, and actually was one of the guys who pretty much helped founded this show. Right, it really started off with me and Bashara hopping on starting a space because I wanted to ask him some questions about ENS, and we kind of did a space and we started brainstorming and all that good stuff. So shout out to you, Bashar, for continuing to build and being consistent these last few months, man. Crypto Reporter, the stage is yours, brother.
Hey, GM, GFM, and you know what the F stands for, so, if anything, first off, wanted to say thank you everybody for coming on. I feel like it's a really important day for ENS. I have so much to say about it. I'm going to try to keep it very brief. So, really wanted to talk about this valuation, right, that Unstoppable Domains has. And it's really, really, really interesting to see that a lot of people from the VC world are trying to go into crypto, but they're going at it at the wrong direction. And it's kind of funny to see things like these happen, occurrences like these. So Unstoppable Domains, as we know, is a company that's really try to get into the domain game. But private equity is a very beautiful thing because it kind of actually gives valuations to companies, and it's really quite interesting to see that they're at $1 billion valuation. I think that's just kind of like really blows my mind, considering the fact that ENS has grown the way it has, and yet they're still like, okay, well, we're gonna try to go and use money that we see being made really in ENS, because I'm not sure about you guys, but I mean, you see the just even on OpenSea, right? The amount of volume. Like if I go on OpenSea right now, you can see the amount. If you go to the domain section of top end of NFTs, ENS right there, right? 95, or it's at like 95 Ethereum, I want to say, in the past 24 hours, right? So you've seen like the traction just day by day with ENS. And you kind of wonder, okay, what are these people doing, right? But at the same time, I understand the fact that they want to be able to give a valuation to it, and that just kind of proves and gives me more conviction that I'm going in the right direction, because you can't even really do anything with Unstock. Who is building on a single domain, right? Who can build on top of that? Who can add their own, add their own site with and merge that with IPF? You can't do any of that with Unstoppable. So if they're given at Series A, mind you, a valuation of 1 billion, oh my God, we are early. We are so freaking early. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I really am trying to convey this this feeling that I'm having, because it's frustrating, one, but at the same time, it's beneficial because now we actually have a comparison, right? Now we can actually say, hey, this is what it's compared to, and this is even more. So yeah, like I said, that's my 2 cents. Thank you for having me speak. And please, 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 this whole thing has been organic, mind you. So round of applause for Master, NFT, Gary, Bishara, the ENS Punks, like even Wheezy, Dr. Boo, and then everyone else in the community, especially our ENS women. Shout out to y'all, because we need more of y'all in this field. I was on a panel about like just diversity and inclusion with ENS and just Web3 in general. And I really think we need more people in space of all different backgrounds. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Retweet the space, everybody. I look forward to the discussion today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. That was good. We'll keep it moving right along with a couple people with their hands up. Let's go to Navy SEAL Foundation.eth. Then we'll go to ENSpunks and Gary.
Hello, guys. Good morning. Amazing space here. I just wanted to say something to Gary. Gary, I was the one who sent you an email, a very interesting email. So yeah, this is my profile. So yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, wow, other people that use Proton Mail that also have ENS names. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yeah, the spam bots don't got me really yet. So I was like, all right, this guy must be real. Yeah, man, it was good ideas too. We need a team to execute. It's in my list, but yeah, keep those ideas, flowing through and share them with people. And but ideas are kind of cheap too. We really need people to execute and take action. But definitely good ideas.
Cool. ENSpunks, the stage is yours, bro.
Yeah. Hey, Kev, you mind skipping me to just go to the Queen 3402 first? Ladies before age, I guess.
Sounds good. 3402, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Kev, for always being consistent and master in the NFT verse, the entire community. I'll start off with Satoshi Test Account, aka Gigabrain Dylan, made a video to show how to fix OpenSea's listing repair tool. I'll pin it to the top. It shows how you can find the contract address and token ID in the NFT details. You can just plug them in to his force refresh tool. The site is moreinfo.eth.limo. But again, I'll post that to the top. I also wanted to touch on the Bcard project because yesterday was pretty historic. 008 is doing amazing work with the Bcard project. Yesterday there was 322 on-chain transfers, over 4,000 in total now. The Bcard project is a great networking tool. It just really deepens connections and continues to grow the community. If you haven't checked it out, you should. You can go to the On Cyber Bcard website and portal to different lounges. 008 connected yesterday. He connected 7 Bcard members' portals to the Bcard station. Now it's like its own little neighborhood. It's fun, and it's fun to see all the artwork displayed in the different lounges, and you can chat at the same time. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. And you don't have to have a B card either to be able to go check it out. Lastly, I just want to say I hope everyone can make it back tomorrow. We are having a very special guest, my friend, fellow queen, Tina. She will be joining us to discuss what she's working on. She is the founder of Tonic Labs and built an advanced smart money tracking platform for NFT projects. She is a total badass. So you don't want to miss it. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the conversation today. Thanks, Kev, for having me on.
Thank you, our queen. Yeah, definitely. This is an open invitation. Everyone who's here right now listening, we're doing this show at the same exact time tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys. With that being said, we'll go over to Gary Palmer Jr.
Hey everybody, yeah. So basically, I'm really inspired by the leadership from the investment team at Unstoppable Domains, and they've inspired me to announce that I'm now in the process of accepting a $10 million investment to anyone in this room for 1% equity in all of my ENS names. So $10 million, 1% equity. All my ENS names will use that $10 million to buy more ENS names and buy more ENS tokens. And so not only, do you get all that value and you get 1% of all of my grails, but then we'll have an organization valued at $1 billion. So this is a huge deal. Unstoppable's $1 billion, and ENS, for several reasons I don't want to get into right now, is far superior. We believe in our business plan is superior. And with the grails that we have, $10 million, you owning 1% of this $1 billion business could be the smartest financial move, not financial advice. I'm not a lawyer. I haven't really put all this together yet. So if anything I'm saying is not legal, then we'll just retract that and call this a joke. But if you have $10 million, it might not be a joke, and we should get this $1 billion valuation up and going. So, thank you for the leadership. Ready to rock and roll.
Well, there you have it.
So,
If you have
with that.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I had to say I'm with that. I'm with that. Let's do it because, like you said, we know what the future is. So.
Yep, there we have it. If you have $10 million and you would like to make an investment, go ahead and give it all over to Gary, and we'll go from there. ENSpunks, the stage is yours, brother.
Yeah, GM Kev, Master, NFTverse speakers, listeners, the community. I was going to come in here today. There was something interesting going on yesterday about some trademark IP stuff. But reality is, law is a little boring. I wanted to focus on the DAO. There was some good conversation, some interesting points about the DAO and then the UD valuation. So I'll give a different perspective on how to kind of think about it and approach it. But Same thing I suggested yesterday. It's like, look, this is not legal advice, you know. I might be a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. In fact, I even have it minted. It is an ENS name. I am a lawyer, but I am not your lawyer.eth. And there's a subdomain. I got it specifically for a guy, Dr.F. So Dr.F. I am a lawyer, but I am not your lawyer.eth. That's a real thing. Anybody else who needs me to clarify, I will gladly subdomain just to make the point, drive it home. But look, if you own a trademark domain, and you know you've heard me talk about it endlessly, other lawyers have talked about it, you know, shared their time to talk about trademarks and everything. You know, we know this idea. There are different classes. There are actually different types of trademarks. There are generic terms that, you know, can be trademarked and can be the strongest type of trademark used in a certain way, like Apple with respect to selling computers. It is fanciful, it is arbitrary, but Apple with respect to selling apples, the fruit, you know, it is generic and cannot be trademarked. But here's the point and kind of what's going on from yesterday, and it's both a legal issue as well as just a very matter-of-fact business issue before I get to the Dow, and that is do not contact a trademark owner and tell them, I've got your domain and I want to sell you your domains. You're going to trigger basically a necessary legal response from them. Trademark owners have to protect their trademarks. If you do that, you are not going to get the offer. You are going to get a demand letter, and that's what happened to somebody from our community. And it's not fun. It's not funny. It's never mind the law, just to the business point. You know, I don't know, you know, for those of you out there who have ever sold assets or services, goods and services to a business, especially a large business, you don't DM them on social media and say, hey, I've got some shit to sell you. It's not how business is done. It's as simple as that. You know, Dr. F always says it's kind of become like a little phrase I use, but it's very true. It's very real. We are not playing Candy Crush here. This is real business. These are business assets, and understand them as such. And sort of, you know, it's one of those things. I act like a degen, but you know, I'll go out of my way to say, do as I say, don't do as I do. You know, there's a right way to conduct yourself in all things business. And others have talked about it as well, that do not expect some business to, you know, publicly make you a large $1 million offer on chain for the world to see. It's not the way things are done. You know, add your information into the records, let them contact you. And again, that's just business stuff, but there are very real legal issues, putting aside the, you know, jurisdictional issues we have, which, you know, Master brings up, and I love it when he does, is we are not subject to UDRP. You know, those are Web 2 things where we waive our legal rights and we subject ourselves to these processes. Anywhere we are in the world, we dox ourselves, and we basically give this centralized authority, ICANN, the right to rug us, pursuant to their rules and procedures for UDRP. It does not exist here. You know, in order for people to contact you, to make these offers, let them come to you. If they want it, they will do that. Make no mistake about it. You going to them, especially if you happen to be in the U.S. and they're U.S. trademark holders, you are likely going to, you know, not like the outcome of that. Now, as it relates to UD, Unstoppable Domains, their raise of $65 million at $1 billion valuation, it's a private business, so that's all handled much differently than this idea of ENS, the decentralized protocol. But one interesting thing about ENS, the decentralized protocol, right, it generates funds that go into a community treasury. Well, let's look at that community treasury. If you look at the amount of circulating ENS tokens, it's about 26%. It's worth about $300 to $350 million. And so when you do the full dilution and you take into account 100%, so that is, you know, all the uncirculated and then the main community treasury holding about 60, a little over 60% of these tokens, it is a fully diluted market cap of 1.3. Again, it's a weird way to try to relate it, evaluate it, but if you want to do that, we win. So it just, again, consider that it is a community treasury, and those funds are there, and additional fees get generated by new registrations. Those go into the community treasury, so that's going to be an ongoing thing. Again, it's a weird way to look at it, but certainly the UD community does not have a voice, does not have a vote, does not have a say over that $65 million of cash. And they also do not have $1 billion of cash. That's a valuation based on a raise of $65 million of cash. So that's what they got. We actually have this treasury. It is ENS liquid tokens. I will also mention,
isn't it partly Ethereum, or is it right or no?
So yeah, some of the exactly. So never mind the ENS tokens, but the registration fees, those come in, of course, is Ethereum.
And they also have stable coin as well for market conditions. But keep in mind that the stable coin is good for market conditions. All those other coins, they just might go up in value as more people use the network and inflation goes up. And so what can currently be the number 2 most popular, most valuable DAO in Web3 will probably always be number 2 or top DAO, right? It's going to be hard to lose that position.
Well, and there's one other coin we are all forgetting. That is the like-ETH tokens. The community treasury of the ENS DAO has 90% of those bad boys collectively. So there's really 50% in the community treasury, and then a total of 40% in the working group treasuries. And those tokens are invaluable. I mean, you cannot put a price on them because literally there is no price on them. So we are sitting on gold right there, ladies and gentlemen, gold, golden hearts, and that's what we all got. But some of these other points that Gary brings up and Bashar brings up, super important. Let's get back to the idea of the DAO, since we're on the DAO. Again, who cares about the valuation other than the fact that the community treasury is there? But to their point, how do you access those funds? Well, we're doing it. We're seeing it live. The new ENS grants, platform is launched. We are on round 1 for public goods. And as Bashar mentioned, ENS is not just this decentralized protocol, it is a public good. What 5159, why I was so happy to do a proposal on his behalf, because I consider him in this space a public good, right? We are educating, we are onboarding, and, just it's a place for us to connect, deepen our relationships. So that is a public good within a public good. It's an amazing thing. But yeah, it goes back to that idea. Bashar's tweet pinned to the top, it's a great point, right? Hey, there are certain things the DAO does control, right? The registration fee. It could change, and you could have a voice in that. Not only that, there's other, things that relate to the protocol, very limited what we have in terms of our right to change the protocol. But the fees is one of them. We certainly don't want changes to be made without us voicing our opinion. And again, if you've got the tokens, you delegate them to somebody who's going to represent your interests as you see fit, or you self-delegate, you keep yourself informed of all the activities of the DAO, and you actively vote. That said, it relates to this first round 1 of the ENS grants platform, and Kev's thread from yesterday. So Kev had this 4-part thread. On the 4th part, you will see major delegates tagged in the tweet. Why? Well, I've got tokens. Gary said he's, probably top 40 delegate, right, representing 14,000 votes approximately. And that's important. But yeah, once you get to those higher end delegates, let's say top 10, you're talking people with multiple, well, not like, I don't want to go overboard here, but 200,000 tokens, votes, 150. And so just to put it in perspective, our guy Alex, who, he helped launch Ethereum, he helped launch ENS, he is part of all this. He's representing a total count of like 156,000. He voted yesterday, and one other large delegate voted yesterday, Slobo.eth. You know, these are the people who are tagged in Kev's tweets. So it's not just us informing ourselves and voting. It is also, and I did ask, like, hey, what's the deal? Should we like, quote unquote, lobby these delegates for their support for proposals? And the response from Carlos, who's sort of the developer of this platform, is, yeah, that is fair game. So it's not just taking part in voting. You know, somebody like myself, I'm just a self-delegate. I don't act as a delegate and solicit people to delegate votes to me. So I'm voting about 1,000. It's, hey, it's still a lot of money, right? But it's not a lot in terms of voting power. But what we can do as the community, not just vote our own tokens, not just make sure we've delegated to people who are going to represent our interests, but we can also lobby and say, hey, you've got a lot of tokens here. We want you to vote for this proposal. And it's not limited to, the ENS grants either. It is things like Bashar is saying, things that are outside the scope of this particular issue, like the fees. Hey, we don't want you to increase fees. One other just random issue would be secondary fees, right? There's been at least a post about it. Hey, what do people think if the DAO implements some secondary fees, and that way it helps fund the ongoing, requirements of the DAO? And so, hey, maybe you do like that idea. You're in favor of it. Again, you jump in the DAO forum, you express your opinion. It's just one way besides voting, but it all starts with getting involved, being informed of the issues, and taking an active role. So that's about it for me for the day.
Yep. Thank you, ENS Punks, for dropping gems, dropping knowledge. You guys just got a free consultation from an attorney. That probably would have cost you about $400-$500 for the time he just spent, speaking to y'all. So that is why this show is amazing. We get free consultations from attorneys, from professors, all types of shit going on here. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick reset of the room. This is the ENS Update show, right? We do the show every Monday through Friday from about 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have the best guests, the best co-hosts, and the best panelists, right? And we talk all things metaverse, ENS, Web3, so forth and so on. So if you haven't already, go ahead and give the speakers a follow, because they drop serious alpha on a day-to-day basis. And with that being said, I'm going to go pass it over to Rock Opera, I think that is, and then Bashar, you're next.
For those curious, I just looked up dgenlawyer.eth, and it is unfortunately taken. I hope it's taken by you, ENSpunks. What it is, everybody, happy Wednesday. And yes, it's pronounced rock opera, I guess. I want to take a little bit of time to give a little bit of love to our moderators here. When I watch a political debate on TV, the side that I root for is the moderator, which can be such an uphill battle. And I don't think we have anything like that in our forum right here. But somebody who facilitates as a part of my job, IRL, I want to, share some love to those who, are managing the mic, so to speak, and have a really, therefore, big role in the cultivating of the community that is us, but not just us. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts, man. I appreciate having you on stage. We'll move right along over to Bashar. The stage is yours, brother.
Just want to add real quick that Blockworks, they just tweeted. I pinned it on the top. They have over 350 followers, and they tweeted about the name wrapper. I'm reading it right now. I'm auditing it. I hope they tweeted the right things, but hey, at least they brought some attention to ENS again. I love these free promotional for ENS. A lot of views, a lot of people can see it, so that'd be great. And also, there's I want to talk a little bit about the ENS sales bot and everything we've seen. the past few weeks regarding the 100 ETH sales and whatever. The wash sales, the promotional sales. ENS sales bot they just tweeted about it. They said they're gonna delete all the wash trades that are hitting the sales bot. That are just for promotional purposes and what serve promotional purposes and whatnot. So this is a little bit. I believe it's good to keep the ecosystem clean from these wash trades and fake sales and bids. In my opinion, at least. I know it's an open blockchain, but at the same time, a lot of newcomers they have their eyes on the bot and they have on the sales bot especially, and they see these 100 ETH for like a ridiculous domain, and they're like, oh, so anything can work, and they start registering like ridiculous names and whatnot. It's up to them, but still, again, I feel that that this step is a very great step they're taking.
Agreed, man. And guys, don't be gullible, right? Don't be gullible. There's a lot of fishy business that is going on here, right? A lot of fishy business. I can't tell you everything that's fishy, what's not fishy, but the best thing I could say is use your best judgment. Don't believe everything that you see. A lot of things are smoke and mirrors. So just don't be gullible. There was just a sell for 112 ETH. I guess it was somebody promoting their project. You could look at something like that and you could say, okay, that's clearly a fake sell, right? The market's not there yet. It doesn't even make sense for that to be there. So just don't be gullible. Use your judgment. With that being said, I do want to give a shout out to my boy 0095. Man, good morning, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh yeah, and I appreciate it, Kev. I was actually about to jump in real quick. I'm doing great, by the way. But I want to shout out Bashar because something earlier he said in the show, I think was the best point I heard the whole show. Like the whole reason why I came here, and I think Bashar too, and probably some others, is because I just wanted to own my own identity on ENS. Like that's just the whole point why we're here. Like everything else is a bonus, like the money and whatever. But make sure that you have your own identity. That's the whole reason why we're here in the first place, or that's why you should be here. You don't want nobody to hover over you with your own identity. So shout out to Bashara for that point. I think that was the greatest point of the whole show. But yeah, I'm doing perfect, man. I hope all the speakers are doing I hope everybody's doing good, listeners, speakers, whatever. Shout out to you, Kev. Shout out to Master, NMC Verse, man, Gary, everybody, all the speakers, man, all the listeners.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll go over to High Top, aka Meta Twerk. The stage is yours.
Hi, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me up here. I'm pretty new to ENS, and I thank you very much for holding this space. It's pretty educational. Give me 1 second.
Meta Twerk.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of funny, but pretty much it's just a name. I have a question. I just got into ENS not too long ago, and I acquired a couple of ENS names, and I wanted your opinion on maybe how to go about promoting the sale of these names. So I purchased rentairbnb.eth. I purchased rentmyairbnb.eth and airbnb4rent.eth. So I'm wondering if somebody can give me some insight. Also, I came in late about the DAO. If there's any place I can go and read up on the DAO for ENS. And that's pretty much what the questions I had to see if you guys can help me out with that.
Any panelists want to take that one?
I can.
Yeah, you want to read up on the ENS DAO Constitution. So if you go to Google, you can go Google ENS DAO Constitution. Pinning it up to the top right now, so you can check out that link. I tweet threaded a high level of what it says, but in addition to the ENS Constitution, there's a lot of other documents in there. Even before you get to the Constitution, though, just to be clear, everybody in this room, everybody listening, your children who don't exist yet, they're all part of the DAO. Everyone is part of the DAO. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is like know the DAO exists, and then you need to know that you're part of it. All right, check, done. Next item, please. After that, then the next level of participation in the DAO, after knowing that you exist in it, is you could participate in the Discuss forum. It's a web forum. Discord is where like all like the conversation sort of happens, of like water cooler stuff, or like, hey, it's like asking for help and directions and stuff. Discuss is where real conversation happens. That's where like serious dialogue happens. Cool. Check that every day. Check that once a week. Be a business person. Have that in your routine. All right. Next thing. Next level of participation. You can own ENS tokens, and you can read the Constitution and all those other documents that I pointed you to begin with. But you can own at least one ENS token, a fraction of a token, more than one token, and you can use those to vote. You can have different addresses that hold those tokens, and so you could have like $1 million in one, and that those something like me, and then you could also have tokens in another one that could be more or less than $1 million. You know what I mean? I'm kidding around, right? Like any amount can be any amount, and so you can still have some delegated. You can still have some for yourself. There's a lot of people out there that are secretly building up war chests of ENS tokens, I'm sure. That's the next level, is having ENS tokens and participating. And then from there, you'll be an expert. You'll know what to do. You'll know, how to move forward.
Welcome, Metatorque. Happy to have you here. And this is a great space to learn and get educated. I heard you say the words rent and Airbnb. I'm very bullish on those words, so I think those are great pickups.
Can I comment real quick about I come from a real estate investment a little bit background, so they are great. Going about selling them and promoting them. Rule number one: forget about the legal perspective of it. Do not reach out, because they're related to Airbnb. Do not reach out to Airbnb. If you have done so, it's fine, but then do not do it. Try not to do it. Fight the urge to do it. Try to list them. Don't go on every ENS post and promote them on every single post on Twitter, unless they're asked for best ENS or whatever domains that you got. I guess just don't have that will be a very tough one, but I'm serious about this. Don't expect them to sell in the next at least 12 months. At least 12 months. Expect at least to hold them for at least a year. That's the minimum. And if they sold the next week, the next day, awesome. Okay, congrats. But at least expect to hold them for at least 12 months. And again, they're great domains. Pricing them, it's up to you. Okay. Everybody can speak on the pricing differently in this room. Grails are grails. Even the grails are, some people say, oh, it's cheap, oh, it's expensive. It doesn't matter. It's you're the owner of it. You set the right price that you think is right. And yeah, best of luck, man. Don't over promote it.
So I have a question regarding the subdomains in the future. Are these names something that could be leased out in subdomains, like to different entities, or like put on
Correct.
or make a decentralized application with a wallet connect, and
Correct.
whoever wants to rent their B&Bs through Ethereum can actually use a subdomain under that platform? Is that a possibility in the future?
100%. 110%. Yes. If I pass the stage over to 184 is so we have to realistically look at selling domains in today's market being extremely early, right? Because mass adoption is not here. This is not widely adopted, a big use case. We're still only about 500,000 unique holders or whatever it is, and people have multiple wallets. So they're probably a lot less than that, probably around 300K to be honest, because I myself have like 6 wallets that means across all of them. But what I will say is this: price it. If you want to sell it within the next couple of days or weeks, you have to price it, very fair. So that means you can't put it at like 10 ETH or 100 ETH and think it's gonna sell, right? Probably price it between anywhere between zero point 0.2 and 1 ETH, maybe at the current market rate, if you want a realistic sell. But kind of what Bashar was saying, we're still in the accumulation phase of the market, right? People are still minting grails, buying grails. I think what you have are some good names. And then after this accumulation phase, I think the next phase is going to be the buyer's phase, where people are starting beginning to buy these grails. But it depends on what your outlook are. If you're trying to make a quick 0.5 ETH or 0.2 ETH, then go ahead, But if you think it's worth a lot more than that, then wait 24 months. If you believe the Airbnb isn't going anywhere, wait 24 months and you could probably 10x that investment than what you could sell it for in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But that's just my thought process on that. Be realistic with your pricing at this stage of the market. That's for everyone. If you realistically want to sell a domain, 184, the stage is yours, brother.
Good afternoon, all. I just want to take there was a comment before about don't be gullible, and I love that point, and I want to take it to the next level and do what I think is a public service. It's not fudding bags. It's just letting you guys know we got to come back to reality sometimes. Okay, so don't be gullible. I want to suggest that this extends not just to these notions. Well, basically, don't be gullible. Someone is trying to sell you something, and they're trying to sell you their bags. I want to suggest that everyone takes the care and due diligence to say, what are they buying into? What are they minting? There's thousands of groups, many groups being created every other day, and most people have loaded up on their bags beforehand, and we're falling for it. It's not a hot take to say that the NFT space is full of people who are doing pumps and dumps, and that's creeping into the ENS space because there's money to be made. So don't be gullible is to say, do your own research. We flogged that statement, but it means when someone says something's going to be the next big group, or something is a grail, or something is the best possible thing you can get into, you actually need to scrutinize it and scrutinize who's telling you this. Whether it's 184.eth telling you to get into something or someone else, you need to scrutinize what is their intentionality behind it. You need to understand, well, why are they doing it? Have they loaded up? And ask those questions. If they tell you that they've done their research and they're telling you something's good, you ask them to lay out their research and disclose all that information. Don't be gullible means protect yourself. I've been in this space like many for 5 years, and there's no guarantee I would have gotten to this stage. There's also no guarantee I'll last another 5 years. There's no guarantee that any of you will last another 5 years. Do not waste your money. Do not fall for things. Actually take the time. Not all of us are going to make it, whether it's our bags or whether it's the time horizon or your financial circumstances. Do not be gullible means your time is worth so much, your money is worth so much, and the opportunity loss of wasting those things is worth so much. I encourage you all to be wiser and smarter with what you're minting, what your thesis is. That's what I have to say. Please be careful out there.
Thank you, brother. That was powerful. We'll keep it going right along. I think we'll end this one on Just Shills, justshills.com. The stage is yours, brother. You are the anchor leg. Take us home.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Just want to say that 5159, Master, ENSpunks, 3402, Gary Pal, 0095, Bishara 184, the NFT that worse. Man, I just want to say something right from the bottom of my heart. Like, this space that you guys have during this time, you guys hit it from so many different angles. I don't feel like there's another best place to be here because you have the best resources coming together and just giving it to this space. I just want to say thank you for doing that. Every one of you play a very important role to obviously my personal learning. Because of you guys, I was able to learn so much in a small nutshell, is because all you guys drop out is just pure wisdom and nuggets, right? Even today, I got to learn so much more. And at the end of the day, one thing I want to say to you guys: stay original, stay unique to yourself, stay genuine, because regardless of what other people are doing, if you feel like there's value in something you believe in, then obviously go ahead. If you feel like that domain for you will somehow create value, then do it, because there's no one here to judge you, and you shouldn't compare yourself with anyone either. Because I came across someone who inspired me, a brand new person, the other day. He had bought a domain name, and when he had bought an ENS domain name, when he actually bought it, he was in an ENS chat room, but in a very similar space, someone said something and it sparked an idea. But when he had mentioned it, that this is what he had bought, 90% people ignored him. But guess what? A few days back, if you go to my post, you'll see his name is Kyle. The same person that no one believed, after a certain amount of time, did 2 back-to-back sales. So, obviously everybody should do their own research, especially when you're signing up for an ENS domain. Double check your spellings. That's very, very crucial, and obviously do your research before doing it. So that I would give the credit to 184.eth for speaking it. Bishara, there's a lot of great pointers you brought in. And from ENS Punks, man, like the way you brought everything up today, how you took a very complex matter and to be able to digest it in a very small way where an 8-year-old can understand it, like I felt like you were speaking to me. Like, I don't have any background in law. I have no understanding of copyrights, trademarks, but somehow you were able to put it in such a smooth way where I was able to understand it. So guys, like, this space is all because of you guys. Like, because of the energy you put out, that's why the amount of level and the caliber you guys are attracting. So thank you for continuing to improving yourself. Thank you for bringing out the purest value, and that is why ENS is growing. So just want to say thank you so much, doing it from the bottom of my heart. And in case if there's anything that I can play some sort of any small role where I can create some sort of value for you guys, I'm always here to serve the community. I'm here to serve you. I feel like Just Shills should be the first ethical way of shilling, where it's done ethically. And at the end of the day, Just Shills is made for a legacy. It's not just made for money. So, please help me create a legacy for ENS domains, and in return, we'll create a legacy for other entrepreneurs like myself. Thank you so much for having me, and it's just a pure pleasure.
Thank you. Last thing I want to say here before we go, I will be hosting a space. Well, not hosting. I'll be a speaker on a historical NFT space at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So if you guys are interested in historical NFTs, please feel free to drop by. And I would say this: there's only 2 things I'm invested in. Right? I'm invested in one, historical NFTs. Why am I invested in historical NFTs? Because history is inevitable, right? I think it doesn't matter all the pump and dumps, all the shit projects, all the projects that rug their founders, rug their holders or whatever it is. They'll all go to zero one day. But the only thing you can't change, you can't go back in time and you can't recreate history. So I love historical projects as collector's pieces. And the second thing I'm invested in is ENS domains. That's it, 1 and 2. You get what I'm saying? I try to keep my assets and my investments safe in the sense of what is the most rug free place to deploy my capital. But before I know Novak and putting together that space, Novak, if you want to speak on that real quick before we call this one a day.
Yo, thank you, Kev. Yeah, so that's going to be a really fun thing. It's a recurring thing on Wednesday. So it's kind of a joke, the name. It's hashtag historical Wednesdays. So like the comedy of it is just, making Wednesdays historical. So to your point about what is historical and some of the conversation that's happened around the language and the adjectives that we use to describe the different historical aspects of the NFT market, we want to just kind of like summarize it as just it's a historical Wednesday space. So everyone who's peripherally involved in historical kind of NFTs, early NFTs, pre-punks clubs, definitely significant to ENS, probably going to be relevant there, and Namecoin domain holders and everything. So the idea is to create on Wednesdays like a meta space for historical communities to get together and to start brainstorming marketplaces for us, to start brainstorming IRL events for us, and just addressing the general challenges that are unique to our community. So that's that. And then Friday we do something else that's more of like a gaming centric. It's Friday hashtag play to play. So both of those are kind of connected to CryptoBots 2017, which is a pretty epic historical project that's launching a new game. So that's all really from that. So Kev's going to be a guest today on Wednesday, and a couple of others will be guests, and we're going to have a big space. Everyone's been invited. Last week, Adam McBride came, and Jake Gallen came. Mooncats were there. Crypto Skulls, us and our friends from Skulls. I mean, it's such a special thing that's starting to happen on Wednesdays with this historical meta space. So we just really would encourage everyone to come. I'll pin it up here, and we look forward to seeing you guys there.
Awesome. Thank you, Novak. And I wouldn't come on here and show anything that I feel like is what's the word I'm looking for? Going to rug you. So with that being said, y'all, this has been a phenomenal episode. I have a meeting to attend to in about 5 minutes. So peace out. I'm wishing everybody love, prosperity, blessings, have fun, be safe, buy your ENS domains, and make sure you buy good domains as well, right? And with that being said, 5159 is out.